All right, I'm back. Just wanted to turn your light down a little bit. So how will I see it? Will I see it on Facebook, or do I just gotta go to your
Yeah,
spot?
it should be on Facebook now. Let me see. Yeah, it should be on Facebook now. I'm actually gonna pull it up on my phone.
Bam, I see you now. I see you.
All
You
right.
on that?
If anybody, so you like my swag, man. You like what I'm doing. You feeling it? You feeling it, bro?
How you do that? How
I'm
did
doing
you?
crazy stuff, man. You like that? You on TV, bro? You
Yeah,
live.
I made it, mama.
You made it, mama. I done made it. I'm on TV, mama. I done made it.
And that's not just TV, the old school TV.
My biggest brother's
It was a
TV,
hand
and
down.
he gave it to the middle brother. By the
Mm-hmm.
time I got it, it had a crack down the center and a crack on the left.
The hand-me-down situation, but you was
Oh,
still living. You was living good.
it was all hand-me-downs growing up. Everything was hand-me-downs, brother. We used to get hand-me-down shirts,
And
shorts,
socks.
socks, t-shirts, you know. And you hit a certain age, and you accuracy. But so I got my cup of coffee, man, and that's got me all zooming.
Going.
So
You
I
got you
see,
going.
you came back from
not only just fighting over these labels, we're not fighting each other over these labels that really misrepresent us, but we're actually fighting for the solutions that only help the inside of that box. You know, we do need work in this part of the world, I guess you could say, you know, in these lands, because I don't want to say this is America, because I don't believe that this is America. I believe that the world is just one, you know, it's one land, it's one great land that has unfortunately been bordered off for the purpose of a certain select few group of men and women, whatever you want to call it, families. And we've been subjected to this our entire lives. You know, when you've been born in this part of the world, you're an American, you know, and if America at the time is going against, I guess, Iraq, whoever you want to call it, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Russia, China, North Korea, whoever it is at the moment, you have to go against those people because you have to stand with, I guess, the country that, or the land that you were birthed in. You know, it doesn't come down to standing with the people. It comes down to standing with the representative labels of who they say we are, you know, which we are so far from that. You know, we should have already removed ourselves from that. But the narrative, you know, the narrative has stuck this entire time. So people really believe and take hold to the fact that American is something that they value. Americanism, I guess you could, I don't know what you call it. You know, you can put whatever label on it that you want to put to make it sound good and everything, but the American way of life is not the way of life that was for all of our people. You know, and I'm not talking about black or white, I'm talking about the whole scope of diversity that we have, you know, and it's not for our children either. But here we are today, 2018, a supposed modernized civilization, a supposed modern era of humanity. We're sitting fighting the borders that were created to divide us from our family all across the world. We're sitting fighting each other over parties. Okay, not the solutions, not the policy. We're not really fighting over policies because we really ain't. We're fighting over the parties. Oh no, my party's gonna make this policy come through. My party's gonna, and we're not fighting over the policies, because if we were fighting over the policies, we wouldn't be screaming Democrat or Republican or this guy or that guy is going to do it or this group of people are going to. We wouldn't be fighting like that. Wouldn't be the rhetoric that we'd be using. We would be saying, okay, what can you do with the information that you have to help me and or the people over here in the situation that they're in? What can you do with the education that you were able to accumulate? Because thankfully we were able. And people are knowledgeable about these things. They're not supposed to be using these things against the world. They're supposed to be using this knowledge and this information and this education to stand with the people. And we didn't slaved all the millions of their livestock. We did that, but that was the civilized way. We didn't deforested all their lovely land, because it was the civilized way. Not only that, but hey, they were living peaceful. They were governed by the peace. They were governed by peace, and the nature governed them. But guess what? We have government. We have laws, and this is the way to them. Now they're going to be civilized.
We have a better way. We have a better way. Well, let me do this, bro, because I want to make sure everybody can see. I actually was on YouTube. I shut it off of YouTube. Looks like people were complaining about they were having trouble. Can y'all hear? It looks like some people can hear and some people can see now. Are we good to go, y'all?
Okay. Huh? I mean, That was just from my refreshing of the Facebook. It looked like it's still there.
Well, I'm seeing some comments. That's why I want to make sure we're still good. It said the stream is struggling. So,
Oh,
but I think they said it was frozen before. Gown said he slapped the side of the TV and he said it works better.
Who got the tinfoil? Who got the tinfoil?
Somebody got the tinfoil. Where the tinfoil?
Already.
Oh man, I was the youngest brother, man. Let me tell you, I was the youngest one, so I had to go hold the tinfoil. I was the one we were trying to watch the Dukes of Hazzard or Dallas and Falcon Crest or Facts of Life or What's Happening. I had to run up to the television and hold it, put the thing.
Like this.
I was the littlest one. They didn't care about. I didn't get to eat. You know, it's like eat. We don't need. Gerard don't need to eat. He's little and skinny anyway. You know, so I have to hold it. It's like, no, don't move, because every now and then you get it right and it uses your body as a signal on the antenna. Yeah, man, that was.
That's real, though. That's real, man. That's real.
Yeah, we didn't have remote controls back. I was my father's remote control. I was the whole family remote control. It's like, Gerard, turn the channel. Get up there.
Right.
Click.
All right, Gerard, turn.
Yeah, right. No. We need to check go to UHF. We used to be on VHF.
Right to the left. It's steady.
Put your hand up. Put your hand up, dummy. Put your leg up. Right there. Don't move.
These kids will never know. They ain't never going to know the struggle.
Dude, that's the struggle. The struggle was real, bro. The struggle
was real back then, bro. The struggle was real.
The struggle was real. These kids, they don't know nothing about struggle today, but they just pressing buttons. They got their own TVs in their own rooms, man. This is back where there was no spanking laws. Oh man, they used to bring the belt out for everything.
God,
it wasn't no spanking back then.
You get a spanky eye. You getting the belt out. Who you looking like that, boy?
Yeah, exactly. Every father had that crazy.
They could do anything now.
Oh yeah. Oh please. Every father had that crazy CPS take my kid eye when they give you that look. We supposed to go do something. You know, I remember the time, Chris. I read this. Oh my gosh. I remember I was gonna run away from home. I was like, Daddy, I don't like this no more. I'm leaving. I'm running away from home.
Bro.
He was like, see ya. He's like, bye. I was like, you can't say that to me because I got the 800 number for child protection. He said, wait. He said, yes, on the refrigerator. I saw it. He said, go ahead and call him. Go ahead and call him. He said, they can come get you. You can leave. Whatever you're going to do. And he said, I love you.
You can go if you want to
go anywhere you want. He said, I love you. I love you so much. I'm going to let you keep the shirt on your back. That's all. You can keep the shirt on your back. But all the rest of the clothes are mine. All the toys, all the everything. All that's mine. But you can keep the shirt off your back because I love you. And my mother was like, don't say that to him. Don't say that. And he like, no, let him go. Let him go.
Right. Yeah, he want to be mad. You want to be mad?
Yeah, he want to be a man. Go ahead. But Chris, you know what? The problem was I wasn't that bright, man. I still ain't that bright. It was winter time, so I ran away in the winter time.
It was cold outside. You ain't even pick the
I ran away for all about 2 hours, man. I had my spot down by the Potomac River. I went down there and got down by the bush, was hanging out with my friends, would go fishing down there. Like, yeah, I'm going to live here, damn it. I'm going to live in the bush. I'm going to live in this bush. At 13, I'm living in the bush. I ain't living with him no more. Damn it, that lasted all of 2 hours. I took my black butt back home, crawled up in the window.
Where the bed at? I need a comfortable bed.
Man, the struggle is real, people. I'm telling you, kids, if you get a time machine, don't you dare go back past 2000. Don't go nowhere back then. It's just tearing y'all back then.
Do not do it. Don't do it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because it gets real. It was hella good times, though, man. It was real, but it was hella good times. You know what I mean? Because I think we learned differently. You know, I think we learned differently in the way that I don't want to say we was like a manly type of strength, but a strength of mind to not deal with bullshit. You know, not to deal with not to be a pushover, I guess you could say. You know, we were kind of taught to be a pushover. Don't let nobody get the best of you. Don't let nobody get over on you. You know, pay attention, be aware of what's going on around you, be aware of what you're getting yourself into, you know, be mindful of the things that are going on. I'm not saying that today the kids are pushovers, but it's leaning towards more of that. You know, the parents are saying, well, be nice and be this and all these innocent little, I I don't know what the fuck you call it. I don't know what the hell parenting is anymore, man. Because
I'm not gonna be nice. The kids babies, man. The babies, man. They're little punks, man. I love them. I got a couple of them, but they punks, man.
Babies. The toddlers is babies. Now, when they get to about 2 or 3, that's when they start getting into this little grown folk phase. You know, they start getting into grown folk. And I'm like, hold on, man. Now you're talking back. Now you know a lot of stuff. You're asking all these damn questions and stuff. That's when you got to start hitting them with the real stuff, the real life information. Because once they start to comprehend and realize that they have a voice, you know, because they know that they have a voice. You can't tell these kids they don't have a voice. They talking all damn day long, even though they don't know shit. But they still do know.
Okay. You know? Most adults don't either.
Yeah, adults. Yeah, you see how adults are. You know, that comes from, I don't want to say being told just submit ourselves to authority, because we didn't really question as much as we should have when we were young. You know, because we weren't allowed to question. Like you said earlier, you were gonna get that belt. You know what I mean? If you question the home, you question your pop, you gonna get that belt. If you go to school,
phone ring.
Yeah, you're right.
I know. You leaving school, your teacher tell you, I'm gonna call your parents. You like,
the teacher be like,
you're gonna start simply.
I got Miss Lewis' number right on my phone right now.
Hey, but look,
class, not
but that wasn't the phone. That wasn't the phone. The phone weighed 10 pounds and it made a ring sound. It had a bell in it. Kids
right, that wasn't the phone. That wasn't it.
The millennials like, it had a bell in the phone. It's like, yes, damn it, it had a bell in it. It go brrrring. And that's when you start crying, because you know it's the teacher. It's about 7 o'clock. The teacher's calling just before dinner time. You start crying as soon as it rings. The tear right here. Daddy, I'm sorry. Daddy, I'm sorry. I meant to do my homework.
Real talk, man.
Oh, gosh.
It's like we still was bad as shit. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Bad as shit, bro. Yeah. I'm telling you, I was still bad as shit. I didn't care. They called home often for me, you know, but
yeah,
I was still defiant, you know what I mean? Because I felt like, I don't know what it was. I just wasn't one to just be listening to no authority. That's why I feel
free.
The authority. I was free. I felt like I was free ever since I was younger. You know what I mean? But the thing was, it wasn't the freedom where it's like, yo, I didn't give a fuck about anybody else or anything was going on. No, it's free. Like, look, I'm trying to live life, and I'm not trying to be subjected to this authority in these places. I don't know. It's so weird breaking it down in the young mind, you know, because as we're growing, we're learning, you know, and as I learned, as I grew, I was learning that I still didn't like authority, you know, whether it was in elementary, high school, middle school, and then after that, the collegiate level. But just in life, in terms in general, like in bosses, we were never supposed to have bosses to the way we are in fear of authority. You know, we are afraid of our bosses. We are afraid of talking to our bosses. We are afraid of talking to our colleagues because, you know, we don't want them to feel X, Y, Z about us. You know, we're always towing the line to play it safe. You know, and that's why we've gotten to where we've gotten at today, I believe, is because we played it entirely too safe. You know, we believe in the way that it's safe. You know, we took the safe beliefs like Christian. I don't know. It's what do you think?
It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse because I'm thinking about what you're saying. And by the way, people, we're just talking, so we don't have a topic. Y'all ask questions. We just kind of just jive. And I haven't talked to Chris in a long time. I'm glad he's back alive. He's not AI.
They ain't getting me. They ain't come to get me yet. You dig me? They ain't
get you yet. So,
they ain't get me yet.
So the thing I think about is like this: is, you know, we replace survival with jobs, right? And it was one thing back when you could get a job with a company and you could work for them for 30 years and retire. You had job security, you had unions. Now, because jobs are so scarce, jobs are required for survival. You got a mortgage to pay, you got people to feed, you got the kids, they want shoes and the G.I. Joe, the Kung Fu grip and all of that stuff. Your boss every day becomes more and more of a plantation owner. You're scared. Because, you know, now it's not like you lose your job and you just go get another job at a different factory or you go get a job somewhere else. You lose your job, you might lose your house, you might lose your car, your kids get kicked out of school, they can't go on. Like, it literally, your boss is in your marriage. Basically, you basically got a 3-way marriage because your boss is what's holding up your family, you know, for the most part. And so, yeah, you're not as quick to open your mouth. You know, but I think the other thing is kids is that I remember civics class.
Okay.
And to a degree, the adults were a little wiser back then, right? Even the police, everybody, they understood a kid was a kid. They let you just do dumb things and they'd forgive you for it. Make sure my kids ain't watching none of this. I don't know if they hear I gotta say something, but I gotta say something.
You forgive me?
I gotta make sure the little bastards ain't here. I love them, but they're my dogs. I love them. They little bastards, they little rugrats. Make sure they ain't here. No, listen, man. Back then, you get pulled over for drinking some Southern Comfort, drinking some Thunderbird, driving your Volkswagen Bug. You know what the police will do? The police look right at you and look, where do you live? I live about an hour away. Take your butt home, or actually back to the dorm. Take your butt back to the dorm. I'm going to escort you. Now, you make sure you don't crash that car. Don't let me catch you out here anymore. Police don't do that anymore. Police, they used to give you a break. They understood you were a kid. You were being dumb. You were being stupid, but they made it an assessment, right? And this is why I get on people who they want to blame the police for everything. All adults are broken. It's not just the police. Back then, even the teachers understood, you know what? You're just being a dumb kid in school. You're doing dumb things. You're not a bad kid. You're just a kid.
Right, you're just a kid.
And just now they're prosecuting kids as adults. Like these cases, 8-year-old kids who little boy kisses the girl and they call it what they call it? Call them a sexual predator. They say that they say it's rape. You know, they go and listen, I'm not one to pull any punches. I don't pull any punches with Me Too or any other movement.
Right.
If you think a 8-year-old boy kissing a 8-year-old girl is like rape, you've never been raped in your life.
Yeah.
I have friends who lived through that
in your life, probably. You know what I mean? Because if that's what you think is rape, come on now. You've been watching movies now. Come on now.
Yeah, you know, honesty is how we get somewhere with all of this. We got to be truthful and we got to be honest. You are not going to compare some little kids being dumb little kids. You know, not to say that it's a good thing to do. Dumb kids do dumb things, but you're not going to compare that to a grown man holding down someone and abusing them. That's just not. It's not even in the same category
at all.
But we like to control each other. And we let these movements, they lose all their damn minds when they get too much power. And so we have to be honest about these things, you know. And so now you got all these grown men. I don't know how I got to this topic, by the way, y'all. But now we got these grown men, you know, and women who are listed as sexual predators because they were 10 years old, 15 years old, 16 years old. And anywhere they move, they have to register themselves with the police. It gets listed in the sexual predator database. And so now none of it means anything, you know? So it's just, but it's crazy. We go too far with things. But anyway, I don't know how I got there. My point was, we used to let kids be kids, and the adults don't do that no more.
Kids used to be kids and kids used to understand, but kids were just being themselves and free and learning, you know, experimenting with life and just, you know, enjoying it themselves, I guess you could say. But what's happened really is the narrative of the culture has been created by the same people that created the narratives of past times when it comes to many of these different, you know, personal events that we experience or certain people experience. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes to the Me Too movement, what people and women, I mean, women might be saying this, but what people in general are failing to say is that the culture of male superiority that is running rampant throughout this current system of operations is part of the reason why there is a Me Too movement in today's time in general.
Yeah.
Women have been told to keep a hush. You know, women have been told to stay silent. Women have.
That's a nice way to say it. That's not the right way to say it.
No, basically, you know what I mean? That's what we really want to say. No, if something has happened to you, you know, cower away in the corner somewhere because you're weak. You know, you instead of feeling empowered to say, yo, this motherfucker right here did X, Y, Z to me, as they should, you know, they're like, oh my God, I don't want nobody to know because they feel nasty. you know, because of the culture surrounding it. Hollywood showing the way they show it in movies, like a woman has something happen to her, now they cower away, they feel scared, they don't want to talk to nobody, and they don't know what to do, and it's a lot of confusion. But this is because everything around them screams male superiority. The jobs, the government, the religions, everything, male superiority. So now their voices have been made inferior, you know? So we as men have to show much more concern than what we've shown in the past, I would say, when it comes to these topics, you know, because as men, we're like, well, you know, we have had an experience, maybe our own nature of being, I don't want to say womanizers or whatever the case is, but, you know, treating women as materials instead of the mothers that they are, you know, treating women as a possession of lust, or a tool of lust, or whatever the case you want to call it, instead of actually treating them as our better halves. You know what I mean? Because women are the match of man, because like yin and yang, you know, men and women go together. But where there is a suppression of voice for either, there is an imbalance, you know, because now we see where all these women have dealt with a lot of lifelong trauma, okay? But their voices still aren't being heard in the way that they need to be heard, because it's being vacuumed into this movement. And the movement doesn't necessarily cater to the individual experiences of all women, because some people are like, oh, like you said about the kid and this and that. The kid, this person made an improper pass at me. I'm part of the Me Too movement. Wrong is wrong, bottom line. But a woman was downright raped savagely. She is the embodiment of the Me Too movement, you know, but you're not really hearing her voice won't, because it's been suppressed behind the narrative that has been created. Go ahead.
No, it's been made political, and that's my greatest critique of all of this, is that we take human rights topics, we take scientific topics, we take important topics, and we let them make them political, and we got to stop doing that. Right? Like that's how they break it. That's how they break every movement, from the civil rights movement to everything else. And this is what I tell everybody: I'm not sensitive when it comes to some things. Right? I'm not sensitive when it comes to abuse. If a person's abused, I don't give a damn who you are. I'm gonna speak up for that person. I don't care. I honestly, if a woman's abused, I don't care if you're a woman and you're the head of Me Too and you want me to shut up. I'm gonna tell you to sit down. I don't give a damn about that. I tell people all the time, people who think that they're white and says, well, I can't speak up for black kids because I'm not black. I tell them to shut up. I say, listen, if you need to tell somebody with some brown skin who's selling out, who doesn't get it, who's okay with keeping these kids in these prisons, you speak up. That little black child is your family as much as every other child. You know? Like the thing is, we got to stop letting identity play us. We let identity play us too much. So I get it and I understand it. Like I said, when I remember when I was in college and I started really being exposed to the fact that most women went through some sort of an abuse or rape situation by the time they're 20. I mean, I had no damn idea that this was real. I thought that's crazy, right? And I'm sitting there, you know, a friend of mine, and I remember just her crying all night. And this was like 2 years after she went through it, and it just comes back, because psychologically, if you don't unpack that stuff and deal with it, it comes back. So the idea that women who want a political career can speak for women like that, the idea that you finally have a woman's movement that's gotten off the ground and has some power, and we're going to let them turn into like a Democrat or Republican or whatever they want to use it for thing. That's not happening. That's not happening. You know, like we have to speak up for each other. That's kind of my point. And we let them take things that are not political and make them political. And one of the big things I've been getting on lately is climate change. I'm done. I'm so done with that political debate. I don't give a damn about it no more. I think we need a new name. It needs to be called ecosystem destruction. Right? Like we need to come up with something that further describes, because you can't even talk about it anymore. You have to be able to, we need a name that takes the politics out. We got to take the BS
Talk
out of
about it,
everything. And
talk about
politics
it,
is just
man.
BS,
Talk about it, G.
you know?
That's so true, brother. That's so true because now when you talk about it, the political logic overruns the mind. So now when you hear climate change, you're thinking, oh, the first thing that might ping is conspiracy.
Right.
The second thing that might ping is like the scientific understanding of whatever the case is. And the third thing to think about is I don't know shit about the shit. So who the fuck am I going to believe? You know what I mean? You don't know who to believe about these things. Now, you'll never know who to believe about these things if you allow yourself to play into the narrative that has been created by the actors behind the confusion. You know?
Yes.
So the political overtone of these things is needed. It is needed to keep us in control and also keep us divided. You know, we don't want to. People right now, I realize this. People don't want to research. You know, not everybody, but a lot of people. They don't have time for it.
Nope.
They think it's boring.
Yep.
They think it's unbeneficial, and I get it. I completely get it because they have been given information on the silver platter. You know, it's like here, climate change. Oh, well, guess what? I have it for you right here. All of the information about climate change. You have to go look no further than what we have provided for you. And the people who are providing the information are the same people who want you to be confused. So that when it comes time to have these meaningful conversations, because we have to start having meaningful conversations with each other, you know, conversations that aren't surrounded by the divisive rhetoric of the political infrastructure. But we can't have these conversations because people only believed in the political information about these things. So when you talk about climate change, you're right. We do need to call it something different. So that way people can embrace something different than what they've always looked at it as. You know, it's like climate change, you hear this shit and you're like, oh, it's conspiracy or it's government. And it's like, we can't, no, what'd you say it was? Ecosystem, whatever.
I just threw out the ecosystem destruction, right?
Yes, ecosystem destruction, you know?
Well, you know, let me say this, because the reason I say that is because it's climate change is too big. I get how they broke it. It wasn't just that they made it political, but it's so damn big. You're talking about the change in global weather and global models from machines. We don't even know if the data going in them is correct. There's just so much to it. But if you keep it simple and you say ecosystem destruction, right? Is this corporation destroying an ecosystem? Then that's bad, right? Because this is how it bubbles up. So, you know, my example would have been like Monsanto. You know, does Monsanto fertilizer and pesticides destroy the farm ecosystem? Yes. Then you can't use it. You can't do it because you're destroying something. You know, off-gassing with these factories and the CO2 emissions. Are you destroying ecosystems with pollution? Yes, in the cities and the forests. Then you can't do that. You know, like I think if you shrink down the data points, if you shrink down and you can say, you know what, so the sugar cane, what is it? The sugar cane farms in Florida are destroying Lake Okeechobee directly. They're adding too many phosphates to the water. It's causing algae blooms. We know that this is changing an ecosystem for the negative. You can't do that anymore. Very simple. So it doesn't have to be an overreaching, massive climate change thing. It just simply climate's always changed. This is my perspective. Climate's always changed. I'm not interested in a debate. And to be honest with you, I don't care what Donald Trump has to say about climate change. I don't care what Barack Obama has to say about climate change. I don't give a damn about what George Bush has to say about it. I don't give a damn what Clinton has. I don't even want to hear Bernie and Eric Holder's take on climate change.
I don't even want to hear Al Gore on climate change.
I don't want to hear Al Gore on climate change.
They made climate change popping in the damn political round, talking about climate change on this run. I voted for his ass because of climate change.
You're right. I mean, because the point is that like they're not qualified to even answer the questions or even talk about it. Besides the fact that they're politicians and they lie. You know, we have to stop trusting people. We got to say, well, I trust Donald Trump because he's a Republican and he's white. You're stupid. I trust Barack Obama because he's a brother and he's black. You're dumb. I trust Hillary Clinton because she's a woman. You're stupid. what they do is they take all of these things
Mhm.
and they use your identity and an identity you trust against you. You
Against you.
know, so like I said, like a and I'm okay with politics. Like people can talk politics all they want, but
Right.
let them have the political topics. Healthcare is political.
Hmm.
You know, gun rights, I don't know. I guess maybe that's political. I don't like that. You know, these are things that are, to me, minimal on the scale of things. When you're talking about a caravan walking north from Latin America to
Guatemala,
America, from
Honduras,
a country
all
we
the other things.
destroyed, a country that 80% of the cocaine comes to the United States because of the war on drugs. So drug cartels run the government that we made the coup for and we overthrew. So now people can't even go to school, go get a bottle of water without a rape gang chasing them down the street.
Right.
95% of the crimes don't even go investigated because we destroyed the entire damn country. That's not political. Those people need help.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like my example, my analogy on that one is if somebody comes to your door and they knock on your door and it's a starving family, got kids and everything. They say, listen, you know, mister, you know, we're sorry to knock on your door.
Right.
A, is your response, get the hell off of my yard. You're on my border. You're not getting any food. Go away and call the police? Or is your response, you know what? I don't have a whole lot. I appreciate the fact that you came to me for help. I'm sorry that you're down on your luck. Listen, I'm not going to let you move in. I already got people sleeping on my sofa. I don't have a whole lot of room. I don't have a whole lot of room in my country. I don't have a whole lot of room on my bed. That's a lie. But I don't have a whole lot of room in the house. But you know what? For the moment, you can put a tent in the backyard. Y'all can stay back there. I'll make sure any extra food will bring out to you. You know, I got an extra suit that maybe you could wear and try to get a job. This is what we used to always do for people. We always used to look at, but you know what? We let them make that political, right?
Yep.
We let the discussion be either let everybody in the country and don't give them any jobs, don't give them any food, don't give them any health care on the left, which is stupid. And then the right, which is stupid. Don't let them pass the border. Shoot them on sight if you see them, because ISIS is in the crowd with MS-13, and they're not the CIA this time.
They're all bad.
Right. We take a topic that's human rights, help human beings, and we let them make it political.
Yeah, real talk. Because it's like, for me, I see it as put yourself in their shoes. You know what I mean? That's what we failed to do as people, because we've been turned into like ice cold savages. You know what I mean? We don't put ourselves in other people's shoes. So it's like, I get why people are so turned off by, you know, the struggle of another person or another group of people or whatever the case you have, because they failed to put their eyes in the heads of these people to see, maybe at least try to see what they can see, you know, try to get an idea of what they have seen throughout their lives. You know what I mean? And I understand that a lot of our Caucasian brothers and sisters have yet to do this, even about the brown skin, dark skinned brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? The brothers and sisters of the little melanated, the lesson. And it's sad because it's like, that's all that they need to do to understand this shit is sick. Yeah. What's happening in 2018 is sick. And it's because we stopped caring as just people. You know what I mean? Now, when I care as a black man, because I'm black and I'm African American. I care as African American. So if your ass is white, I ain't got shit to do. Whatever you're going through, good. This is how black people think. Whatever you're going through, good. With the history of this country done. So you deserve that. So now the black people really, they're trying. The Democratic Party is still, you know, co-opting the struggles of everyday lifestyles for people of color, all different persuasions, but they're like, yo, they're happy that Donald Trump is president, because now they feel like white people, or their white brothers and sisters, they're not even white, by the way, are getting a taste of what they've been dealing with all their entire lives. You know what I mean? They've getting a taste of what they've been dealing with in America. So now the small, minute struggle has presented itself. Okay, and this is not even a physical lifestyle struggle. This is only a mental struggle that has presented itself to our brothers and sisters of the, not everybody. You know, I can't generalize because I know people are really suffering because some of them are poor. You know, that's what it is. So like when you break things down to just the people standpoint, you don't see color, you see situational need, you know, situational understanding. But that's been evaporated. You know, the situational understanding to see that, yo, there's 20,000 people coming from these countries from the down lower borders. We don't care. We're like, oh no, that's political. That's political. It ain't got nothing to do with me. But then when the man comes and robs, when the man comes and knocks down your door and shoots or does whatever inside your house, now it's a hoopla about this and that, and it's those damn whatever you want to call. I don't know what they call them. I call them people. You know, I don't even like calling them Mexicans and South Americans. I don't even like calling them that. I call them family. You feel me? When the family comes and does something bad, now all of a sudden now they care. You know, now so why these people get left in? Who did this and why? Whatever. No, we were supposed to receive them with open hearts so they wouldn't feel the need to do that. People of color were supposed to be received with open hearts from their brothers and sisters that take hold of the white name or the white tag, but they didn't. So now these brothers and sisters, what do you think they're going to do in environments that were created? They created the projects. You know what I mean? The projects weren't just created to say, oh yeah, we're going to house these people because we care about them. We care about them, so we're going to house. That wasn't what it was. It was a project for a reason. We're going to put people in a small area and we're going to make a environment to where they don't have enough jobs in their neighborhood. You know, there's not enough jobs in these neighborhoods. We're not only going to make it that there's not enough jobs in these neighborhoods, but the quality of education is very poor in these neighborhoods. But guess what? The people on the other side of the border in the suburbs don't give a damn because their quality of life is beautiful. Their education is beautiful. They have no cares in the world about what's going on the other side because they have been turned into cold-blooded savages. You know what I mean? That's cold-hearted savages, I should say. And that's kind of what we all are in the American sense of things. We're cold-hearted savages to the American cause. So every day we're working and busting our asses to produce for the American way of life to continue. And we're dismantled that. You know what I mean?
So here's my take. I mean, my take, you know how I feel about race. I don't think it matters at all. I think that there's a lot of very poor people that we would call Caucasian.
White.
They don't. I always go to the trailer park example, but they don't have a pot to piss in and window to throw it out. A lot of Latinos don't have a pot to piss in, window to throw it out. A lot of African Americans, that's what they call them. They don't have a pot to piss in and nothing, window to throw it out. And then you have people in the middle class, and they stand on top of the necks of the people that don't have a pot to piss in and throw it out. And you got the upper class, they stand on the necks of the middle class, and you got the elite that run it all. And it's all a big scam. And I think they use a lot of these things to turn everybody against each other. But the reality is, no matter how bad you're doing, there's somebody else that's always a hell of a lot worse, of a different race. And if we just get to some sort of a place where, like you said, we put ourselves in each other's shoes, and just, how would I act if I grew up how that person acted? How would I respond to that environment? And I think it allows you to make the right decision. When you see someone, you don't see what you see is you see their need. You don't see, you don't see their skin. You see their need. And this is what I tell people, when you look at people, if you still see skin color, you need to spend some time with that skin color. It means that you got some bigotry thing that's going on in your head. And that's everybody of every race. If you are Filipino and you spend most of your time with Filipinos, then you are automatically going to have certain prejudices and fears against people who don't look like that, right? And so if you want your kids to be well adjusted, you want to make sure they spend the time across the board, right? You know, a lot of the problems I think we do to ourselves.
Okay.
We do to ourselves because we get in these little groups and we feel comfortable in these little groups. But in that comfort, it creates, I'm not going to say it's as far as superiority, you know, but it creates too much pride in that group. In America, unfortunately, and I think a lot of Europe, it's going in different directions.
Okay.
And if you have 8 different communities in your country going in different directions, it's pretty much a guarantee that the people in that country will have no say in its government.
True indeed.
Because when people are divided, and that's why people are divided. That is why I say, you know, I tell people race doesn't exist. It's just a fantasy. It's not scientific. It's all fantasy made up. Or the African or the British. I mean, that's up to you, but that's a choice. That's not who you are. That's not that. That's a choice. You chose that timestamp in history to associate your identity with. That's not a, oh, I didn't have a choice. Oh, you got a choice. You can go all the way back to when we all look alike. You can go all the way back to that tribe. So I don't play with race and ethnicity, but more importantly, we got bigger problems. We have significantly bigger problems than silly reptilian brain skin color grouping up. Like we have international multi-conglomerate companies that run multiple nations and their militaries. We got problems. Like this isn't your atypical, you know, foot jam. You don't just have the little corn on your foot.
Right.
You know, you missing feet. You got hammer time, toes, corn, bunions, all kind of crazy monsters coming out from under your toenails. We got problems. And you complaining about you got to cut a toenail, you got a little scratch on. No, we got big problems. And race and ethnicity aren't even in the top 200.
No way. They don't even factor in no more.
Not even in the top 200.
But that's what it is. That's what the political climate has created. You know what I mean? The political climate has created the narrative. You know, that's why I was telling earlier video, we have to change the narrative. Like we really have to find a way to, you know, control what we talk about. And that actually comes when we change what we think about. Like, for example, you were talking about the climate change. We have to change how we think about climate change. So we have to try to call it something different. Now, when it comes to the many other aspects of life, like war, we have to try to go at it a different way. You know, we can't just we all should know that we're against war, but we have to be, you know, some type of narrative to where we're pro-peace. But it's not pro-peace to where we're saying, oh, we're pro-peace and the American military is going to bring us that. No, we're pro-peace and we're going to seek that together as family. You know what I mean? Whether you're white, black, Asian, Blasian, Latino, Filipino, whatever you are, we're pro-peace. We want you to be safe wherever you're at. You know what I mean? We're living for your safety and we're fighting for your safety. You know what I mean? We're fighting that way you can live peacefully and your family can live peacefully, just as we in this country live peacefully. And what's been done, they just said, look, you're an American. Be a good American. What's wrong with being American? You got all the benefits of being, they did this. They said, look, you got the money, you got the clothes, you could buy the good stuff. You got the goods here, there, and everywhere. You got the great TV. The television is beautiful. We got your sports. We got stuff for the woman. We got stuff for the kids and everything. So don't care about the activities that are going on outside of these borders. Fuck, don't care really about the activities that are going on inside these borders. Unless we tell you to.
Unless we tell you to care.
didn't care when we tell you to care. So now when they throw it on mainstream media, now everybody's caring. But before they threw it on mainstream media, you didn't give a damn about the shit. You know what I mean? You didn't care about it because you weren't passionate enough. We weren't passionate enough to inform ourselves, I guess you could say. You know, and like you said, not from the man's information or the information that educational, whatever, political, but from communicating with these people. You know, from being around the people of color, from being around our white brothers and sisters, from being around our native brothers and sisters, our foreign brothers and sisters. We're supposed to communicate with them to get the understanding. We're not supposed to read the daily news of New York Times or CNN and say, oh, look what happened. These people are savages. How could they? America must do something about this. I can't wait till America blows North Korea out the water. And it was like, yo, everybody was hyped about North Korea and going to war with them and this and that. And I was looking at it like, are these people crazy? Like they're
Yes, they are.
in war. Russia, oh, we have to do something about Russia. Oh, Russia had the election. And it's like, that's bullshit. We don't have to do nothing about Russia. We have to change what we believe in. So that way we understand what's really going on, not only with the Russia situation, but with everything on our home turf. You know what I mean? Because we don't even know what's going on our home turf. And this is where they're finessing us right here at home, bro.
Yeah. That's what's up. We're being collapsed. We're being collapsed, and people don't seem to realize it, that our nation is being looted. The dollar is being dropped, and whatever international interests, multinational corporations run all of this and make the decisions for both political parties and control the Federal Reserve, they're pulling out of America. You know, this is what I'm saying, that we have bigger problems. We are facing a Great Depression. We're facing a depression in the destruction of the dollar that's unlike anything we've ever faced in history. And no analysts disagree with that anymore. All the analysts are saying, yes, the dollar is going away. The only thing they disagree on is how much longer it'll stick around. It is no longer going to be the world's reserve currency. Everybody is pulling out. And when everybody pulls out, the price of everything Americans buy, which is pretty much everything that comes from overseas, is going to double, triple, quadruple, and go through the roof. People can't grow their own food anymore, right? During the Great Depression, 80% of the country were farmers. So there was tons of food to go around. So you didn't have that many psychopaths in the street murdering people for loaves of bread. We're walking into a world right now, which is why all the politicians that everybody believes in all have bunkers. They all have land and out that they're going to go hide out. They got islands. They have places they can go. And you're cheering them and you're clapping for them like, oh, these people love us and they're going to fix the country. And they know that it's not fixable. We built up this unsustainable petrodollar. We printed away 98% of the value of the dollar. And now nobody wants to touch it, from Venezuela to Russia to China to even Europe now. They're all, I think even Saudi Arabia now is selling oil, is making oil deals that are not in the US dollar. And so nobody needs the dollar anymore. That was the scam of the petrodollar. Everybody needed the dollar to get oil because all oil in the world had to be bought in dollars. And now you don't have to do that. And you know, the dollar has no more value. They're all going to run from it. And when that happens, America is...
We're finesse. That's going to happen.
It's going to suck. And this is a bipartisan project.
And
this letting the dollar collapse.
This is being worked right now. This is being finalized right now. I'm just going to go ahead. This is being finalized right now because what is happening is this. We have no idea collectively. We have no idea how to approach this. As individuals, we can all do our own thing individually and, work out our shit to where we can get whatever situation we need to get settled, so that way we can be ahead of the game of many of the millions that are not going to be ahead of the game. But collectively, we're not being effective enough to combat what's coming on. What's ahead of us, because we're so stuck in the today. We're so worried about all the bullshit narratives that they're creating today to build the hostility in our mind, but cloud our minds with bullshit. It's like right now, throughout the minds and across America, there's a storm raging. And the storm is a little bit of hate. The storm is a little bit of division. The storm is a little bit of offensiveness. The storm is a little bit of a lack of sincerity or care for other people. And it's many different things that have been bottled up inside of our minds that come from the narratives that we've always, listened to or embraced. Comes from the rhetoric that we've always repeated, because it was repeated to us. It's repeated to us that you have to protect your own interests. Mind your own business, and this is important. Do mind your own business, but when it comes to your neighbors, pay attention to the need. It doesn't. When mind your own business doesn't come down to if someone's in need and just ignore that shit. Mind your own business. No, it's going to come down to someone doing something. Mind your own business because they ain't got shit to do with you. If it's illegal, if it's something, don't be all up in they shit, because your shit stink too. So you be doing some stuff that you don't need to be doing, and you don't want nobody all up in your shit. You know what I mean? But when it comes down to the things that people need, the solutions that we can carry out to make sure that we have a bond, because I realized that we haven't had a strong enough bond to get to that next level, maybe the next level to where we have things in place for when the dollar collapses or when the American system of capitalism goes under. Many people are going under with it. They're going to sink like the Titanic. It's like this. I'm going to break it down like this, Jim. It's like the Titanic. We all heard the story, whatever the case happened to Titanic. But when the Titanic was sinking, people, you have to understand, when the Titanic was sinking, who went first? Who was off the ship first? Women, children, as the story was told, or was it women and children and men of the elite? You got to see this. It was men, women, and children of the elite. It wasn't
the first, but that's not the first thing that happened. That's not the first thing that happened. The first thing that happened?
Tell me.
They locked steerage below. The first thing that happened, the water was coming in, and if you worked below
the low levels,
and if you were riding on the ship and you had a bunk way at the bottom, or you worked in the engine room, you worked in steerage, they locked the watertight doors to let you drown. That was the first step. First, we got to save the boat. We got to save everybody.
We got to try to salvage what's left.
So the very first, and that's not funny. If you knew somebody who died on the Titanic, I hope. It's ridiculous in how they think. You're right. And then it wasn't, like you said, it wasn't women and children. It wasn't, no, we got to take care of the women. We got to take care of the kids. It's like, nope, we got to take care of the bankers and the lawyers and the business owners and the landowners and the railroad tycoon. Right. They got them nice boats and they got out there in the water.
Got out of there. You know what I mean? And then all the other people, which is us, were left to suffer with them. So we were left to fend with ourselves. Some people, thankfully, some people survived, but many people perished because of the system of operations that was in place. You can't make it. Everybody will not make it. You understand what I'm saying? Many will go with the ship. And this is the same thing for what's going on in today's time. Many are going to fall. Many are going to sink with the ship. And these motherfuckers, they know this, like you said, the shit is dropping now. We're sinking now. The elite are out of here. They got their islands, they got their little locations all around the world where they can be wherever they need to be to avoid the pending doom.
And what Brother Gellin just said, which I love what he's saying right here, because it's true. He's talking about, and after how they treated the world, who is going to care? The elites will move to the next corporate money-making country venture. And that's the whole point, is that you're busy cheering for these Democrats, these Republicans who work for these massive corporations who are owned by these billionaires. And all they're going to do is going to swap America out, whether it's for Russia or China, whoever has a big military, whoever they can make money on. It might be Britain, could be Italy or Germany. And they already know where they're going next. And they're going to take all the technology, all the war-making technology, because America's like, no, that's our technology. The M1A7 tank, the F-35 Raptors, and this is all American. It doesn't belong to America.
Right.
These are technologies that are made that belong to corporations and are proprietary.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ever question anything like that, ask yourself, how come the United States president has about, what is it, over a dozen levels of secrecy above them? The United States presidents aren't even allowed to know the highest technologies that the military has because it doesn't belong to America.
Exactly.
You know, it doesn't belong to America. And this is where we started to get into some of that law discussion about the United States corporation. If the United States is a corporation, oh, it is a corporation, and the president is not the CEO. It's a corporation, and the president is one of the department heads, maybe.
I know, right?
Damn sure ain't no CEO.
No, real shit. The president is the president.
Yeah, he's just the president. That's it. That's it.
Still got the CEO. He's still below the CFO, the COO, and all these other motherfucking O's. You know what I mean?
He's not allowed to know nothing. He just knows a little bit more than you do. He's just a little more involved.
He's the figure that's saying, look, go, you got this nice office now. Just keep control of the corporation. All right. I put you in this position because I know you can maintain and handle a corporation. Just keep control. We'll handle everything. We'll make sure. What you say?
Remember Monkeys in a Barrel?
Monkeys in the Barrel, the movie?
Yeah, no, the toy, man. Back in the 80s.
No,
you get the little monkeys in the barrel, and you got the monkey, and he's got the hands like this. One has a hand up, and the other has a hand down, and you can link them together.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
The monkeys in the barrel, bro. The monkeys in the barrel, and I think that's the job of the U.S. presidents and the Congress.
Okay.
Their only job is to keep the dumb monkeys in the barrel fighting. Keep the Democrats fighting the Republicans, the Republicans fighting the Democrats. Anybody who's saying anything true, make sure that you shut them up and keep the rest of them not voting. And that way the monkeys don't get together and link their hands together and climb the hell out the barrel. Because that's the whole goal, is you have to keep the American batteries going. And as an American citizen, all you are is a battery. You know, and how does this affect the rest of the world? What do you think is going to happen when America collapses? If your country is still on the U.S. dollar, you're done. Because look, if you look at the Great Depression, they did this for a reason. They did this because they wanted to buy up land and corporations for pennies on the dollar. So they called the credit. And that's exactly what's going to happen. When the value of the dollar drops and the value of the currencies that are not attached to the dollar, like the rupee or the yuan, whatever they choose to do, they're going to come in America and they're going to buy up multi-billion-dollar corporations for hundreds of thousands of rupees, right? They're going to get away with highway robbery. They will own America, and if you live in the UK and you know the pound is still closely related to the dollar, you know your economy still dependent on the world reserve currency of the dollar. Everything in your country is going to be about 2 cents worth more than what's in America. They're going to buy you up too. And this is how billionaires will become trillionaires. And this is how they play the entire world. What I encourage everyone just to think about when they start thinking that some of this is political and politics, money makes the world go round. Money makes all the decisions. We know this. But when it comes to politics, people get emotional and they forget that. And they don't realize political parties get bought just like nations get bought. Like all politicians get bought. Money makes the world go round. And this is the plan, that billionaires are going to become trillionaires. Because this is how the 100 millionaires became billionaires, was through the Great Depression.
Right. They bought up everything. They bought up everything when it was for the love. You know what I mean? Then they restructured and reorganized it all. And that's what they're going to do, because I'm telling you, G, they have to. I'm looking at it like this. There's no way as a civilization right now we can just transition into the era of AI. Easily, like as people think is going to happen. Like, oh yeah, we're going to just AI is going to come. We're going to be nice, and we're going to be every day. We're going to work with them, and they're going to be side by side. We're going to be side by side with AI, y'all. We're going to just be able to get all. Can you wait for it? Don't you feel it? And
it's going to be good. Hey, have you seen the Common commercials where he comes on and talks about AI?
Oh my God, AI. Gee, I want to jump in. I want to jump the hell out. I really do. I'm like, yo, this is dude whose music I love. You know what I mean? I love this kind of music.
He sold the whole human race out.
Got another part of the whole scheme of things. You know what I mean? I loved Common's music.
He doesn't give a damn.
He used to spit the conscious music, I guess you could say. And they finally get a hold of him too. I guess, messing around with that Hollywood stuff, they got a hold of
makes the world.
AI is the future. Are you ready? And all this.
Are you ready for your future?
How much money did they have to pay you to do this? You know what I mean? How much? But that's what it is. Like you said, money makes the world go around, man. And we, the people, don't have enough of it. I mean, actually, we, the people, do have enough of it collectively, but we're not utilizing that resource collectively. You know what I mean? We're using it independently still. We're still spending money with the capitalist work. But I'm telling you, this stuff is coming to an end. But
because it makes sense.
Man, we got to keep pushing ahead, man. That's what I've realized.
It makes sense. And what you said is there is no smooth transition between AI and you. It's just not going to happen, right? Because the corporations, they need to move swiftly. Like there's a tipping and a breaking point when it comes to automating a society, right? And we don't know what that is. That could be 10% of jobs, could be 15%, 20%. First of all, they lie about unemployment to begin with. They've been fudging the numbers since the Obama administration, right? They've been lying about all of it. But there's a certain point where you can only automate, say it's 15% of the current jobs before that our system collapses, right? Because that 15%, they're going back to school, they're getting retooled, rekit, they're taking the job of the fry guy, they're taking the job of the lawyer, they're taking the job of the banker, they're taking the job of somebody else. And at a certain point in time, those jobs, every day their value is dropping. Whatever you do every day, there's more people lining up to take your job, and they'll do it for cheap because they got a mortgage to pay. And so this is where you get, the Titanic type situation where all the rats are clamoring for these jobs, and that can collapse the system. So I think that's part of why they don't release a lot of what they have quickly, because it scares people. I've seen endless mergers and transitions when I worked in big business corporate America, and they always keep everything quiet. They don't come in and say, you know what, here are the consultants, we're going to take your job, your department, where your job, They don't do that. They just sit back and they say, you know what, they come in, they interview everybody. They keep it very quiet about what departments are going to go away. They find out where they can save the most money. And when it's time, they prepare the packages and whatever not, they already make sure the jobs are trained for, that you can't go crazy and flip out one day and collapse a department. And then they give you your pink slip. You got 2 weeks, you're out of there. And there's no delay in that corporation running forward, making profit. And that's the same way AI is coming. That's the same way all the robotics and the software and automation. They're going to treat this the same way they do any other merger, transition, getting rid of people. They're going to make sure they're sustainable, the same way your government has a continuity program. They're going to make sure when they roll it out, you can act crazy, postal, anything you want on your last day. And it's not going to mean a damn bit of difference to their bottom line, because the bottom line is always the bottom line. Right.
And that's what it is. You know what I mean? They're trying to stay out the red. They don't want to be in the red at all. And if they got
about money.
We're expendable. You know what I mean?
It's not about just silly butt worried about tiki torch Nazis and MI-17 and the caravans and Kavanaugh and all of this Russia and all this. They don't care nothing about that. It's all about the bottom line. That's why they don't have a citizen continuity program. No corporations have layoff continuity programs. When it's time for you to go, you're gone. It's just and it's your problem.
And then people have to come together. You're left to deal with the mess, and they go along living in success.
That's
you know what I mean? They live in success while you left to deal with the mess. And it's the commercial. It's the good old America still moving, but it's not scary. It's just, I don't know a word. I don't even know the word for it, what it is, to just understand and realize how fast this is coming at us. It is came at us at a subtle pace up until like kind of the last 5-6 years, I would say. It just came at us at a subtle pace, And now with all this technology that they're waiting to throw in front of our faces, they had to speed the pace up. You know what I mean? They had to speed the pace up about what's going on, because they have factories, they have warehouses full of this stuff. You know, if you don't think artificial intelligence is in warehouses right now with ready, suited and booted, ready to go, you're out your damn mind.
Amazon's not even hiding it.
Amazon don't need to
that's
hide.
why Jeff Bezos, he's not even, because we so stupid, he doesn't have to hide it. But this brother came out, this is what I'm, listen, I don't know. Some people say it's scary. To me, I think it's genius. I think it's to a degree it's hilarious. And actually it's pretty damn funny. Because they come out, and what did he say? He said, you know what? We're gonna, and this, keep in mind, this man has been automating people out of jobs. That has been his own purpose in life. His passion is to make automated factories without you dumb monkeys running. That's all he wants to do. That's all he's been trying to do. And he's become one of the richest men on the planet because of it. And all he has to do is come out one day and say, you know what? I'm going to give everybody minimum wage. $15 an hour minimum wage. And you got presidential candidate Bernie Sanders and the rest of these crazy monkeys come out and say, yeah, Jeff Bezos is the hero.
For being,
what he call it? He called it the shot that's gonna be heard around the world. Oh, and I'm like, you know what? If I had any little pieces, something little respect for Bernie, like any little life about this big, I don't know about that big, it was gone at that point. At that point, I know that he 100,000%, not 100%, 100,000% sold out. Jeff Bezos don't give a damn. And the fact of the matter is, he has these factories ready. If you ever see him, you can go see him on the internet. They're sexy as all hell. They got these robots that are moving around, stacking the shelves and whatever. And he clarified to everybody too. He doesn't even lie to you. He told you, said, you know what? We're gonna do $15 an hour for the factory workers because I love them so much. I love them so much that I'm gonna automate them out of jobs before they even see that first $15 an hour paycheck. You know, like this is how it works. But that's why I say I listen to it and I'm just like, we have trouble with critical thought. You know, we have a real issue with being able to look at a problem and situation and determine, because what will happen is if Trump says it, the people who put all their hope and faith and worship in Jesus Trump, they're going to fall for it. If all the people if Obama says it, everybody who puts all their hope and faith and hope and change in Jesus Obama, they're going to fall for it and they're going to touch the hem of his garment. It's going to be blessed by Jesus. And the people who believe in Bernie. And that's why I think our biggest problem is just getting adults back into a space where they're critically thinking and they're not outsourcing being an adult to another adult that doesn't give a damn about you, let alone a political party.
That's true, because we've been too reliant. You know, I don't say always, but we've, for the majority of the time, been reliant on, you know, figureheads. You know what I mean? And idols.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this too, because Elizabeth and Susan and they said another good point right there. And who the hell can live on $15 an hour?
Oh my God, I did the math, my dear bro. I was making $15 an hour. I was broke as shit.
I was making $15 an hour when I was damn near 17 years old, working at Sears and Roebuck and Company. Okay, and this is going back in 1995 or something. I had no kids.
I was working at the warehouse making minimum wage.
No, listen, shoot. I put on my suit and tie. I taught Guza Massa, and I went up there. I got me a job selling computers. Well, I sell the computers, and I was selling the cell phones. Remember this? You remember the old flip phones? I was selling it. That's back when it took like an hour to get it activated. Yeah, people come to Sears. We got to get it activated. Okay, no, they buy the phone and they leave. I get the StarTAC manual out, start calling people, hitting buttons, flipping. It take an hour to go through about 30 menus. I was selling vacuum machines, man. I was selling the vacuums. I was all of it. I was making about $15 an hour, you know, and I barely could live back then.
Real
you know,
shit.
I could barely, and then I was by my damn self, you know. My girlfriend was from New York, so she spent a lot of my money.
Okay. So I might.
But the idea that a family can live on $30 an hour today is insanity. But again, you have, but if my leader, my king and my Lord comes out, my Lord and Savior, Bernie Christ, comes
Mm-hmm.
out and says that it's a good idea and Jeff Bezos is a good man, then he's a good man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they
I'm
love
all
it.
for it.
And everybody's eating it up. It's like this. I love it. Yes, Jeff
Yeah.
Bezos. Jeff Bezos.
Yes.
You can
Jeff
see what Jeff
Bezos,
Bezos.
Jeff,
Oh, yeah,
Jeff,
loving
Jeff,
Jeff
Jeff,
Bezos.
Jeff.
And it's like, forget about Amazon and how crooked they are and what's behind the closed doors. But Jeff Bezos, yes, Jeff Bezos. I love him. I love him. Yes, champion that guy. He's outstanding. He's a champion for the. And it's like, this is where we have lost our damn minds in my eyes. You know, I don't give a damn about Jeff Bezos at all. To me, honestly, if
Insignificant.
needs that much money, they're a scumbag. I don't care who you feel however way you want to feel about me. If you need a gazillion billion dollars, you're just a scumbag. There's no way that you as an individual do not need a gazillion dollars.
That's being nice.
You don't need it. Then it's like, okay, these people love it. They're like, well, they worked hard to get there, so what do you? And it's like, I'm not mad.
They didn't.
No, logical. I don't think it's logical for someone to have $1 billion and then there be some little kid somewhere starving eating pebbles. You know what I mean? Looking under pebbles for food.
Right.
But
they
then
didn't work hard to get it.
$1 billion man.
They're lying. Anybody tell you they work hard to get $1 billion? They're lying. They're lying. They robbed, stole, murdered, swindled. They lied. They're lying. You don't get $1 billion for working hard. You know what you get for working hard? $15 an hour. That's what you get for working hard. You know what you get for working hard? You get a car, a house, and debt. That's what you get for working hard. You might get a company. You might get a few million, but you damn sure ain't getting no billion. You get billion from being a bastard. I don't call them scumbags.
Taking advantage of people.
Right. If you got $1 billion in today's climate, and you watch these kids that are dying in Yemen, in the Congo, and even in the Appalachian Mountains, we got little kids starving right now in ghettos. If you got $1 billion in the bank, you are a full-blown psychopath. Completely. There is absolutely nothing you and I have to talk about at all.
Right.
You need a straitjacket. You need to be in a hospital somewhere. You need to be on some medication. You need to be in a rubber room so you don't beat your head on the wall when you can't go murder people and start a war with your wealth. I'm not anti-wealth. I think people should have money, but the fact of the matter is it's not your money. It's all blood money. It's not your patents. It's not your technology. It's not your company. Other people built that. All the technology we have, somebody else made the wheel, and whatever you made got wheels in it. It's not yours. Right. And so the idea that you got a patent made $1 billion or you made money day trading, you're doing that on people's lives. Right. This is why I talk about, this is why I talk about Latin America and Honduras and why the people are walking up. They're not walking up because their countries were treated fairly. They're walking up because those billionaires in the stock market who made billions of dollars trading the stocks are the companies that were down there murdering people. Like Chiquita Banana, the chocolate companies, and there was a whole list of them. All these companies that went down there, worked with the CIA to get land to grow bananas and have slave labor and kill people for their land. That's where they got the $1 billion from. And that's all fact. Anyone who disagrees with that, you need to go read John Perkins. Go read John Perkins, Confessions of an Economic Hitman. And if you ain't got the time, just go out on YouTube. He's got a whole lot of talks that talk about it. People don't get $1 billion from working hard. And this is why I'm flipping out for a minute. I get a little pissed off, bro. I get a little excited because I don't like when people lie about stuff like that. I don't like, because listen, I grew up in the Washington D.C. area, man. Like I told you, I grew up with all these snooty black people. Just snooty. Oh, they didn't like me, Chris, at all. They didn't like me at all. I was black, char, smoke, ghost, jigaboo. I was all of those things. Listen. The black elite hate everybody. Like all the elite hate everybody. And what they like to do, they like to lie like all the other elites. I was watching this video the other day. They were sitting saying, "Oh, well, this is what we do. We make money. We do good, just like white folk. And what you other poor black folk got to do, you got to lift yourself up. You got to work hard." Right. I'm just like, you lying mother hubba. You just lying till you blue in the face. You stole that money, So
Mm-mm.
anyway, all right. I get excited. I get upset.
I know
But
how you
this
feel.
idea that you know what that is? It's faith based. That's what that is. People come
Mm.
out here because they like to say this in these wealth preaching groups where they teach you that, oh, it's good to be wealthy. It means that you're
Yeah,
blessed.
yeah,
And if you're not doing well, you're not blessed. You must be doing something wrong. You're damn right he's doing something wrong. The little
right.
poor kid was born in a trailer park. His father had babies by 8 other women, got drunk, ran to Indiana, and his mother had to get 5 jobs to pay for it so it couldn't raise him. Yeah,
Mhm.
he definitely got some problems. It's not about working hard. It's about these people are born in damn bad situations that no
Yeah,
human being should. They were born in a ghetto.
yeah,
Mama, hey, working 8 jobs. Dad in, or better yet, dad was around. Mama got
yeah.
drunk, ran off with
Round
somebody
trip.
else. You
You
know,
feel
like people are born in bad situations, and I get
me? Yeah.
tired of that. When you sit here, when you hear people say, "Oh, well, you just got to work hard," that's a
Mm,
lie.
It's a lie,
That is
complete
a
lie.
complete lie. You can work hard till you're blue in the face, and it won't get you anything. You know some of and I know you know this. You know some of the smartest people on this planet are in this country.
Mm.
They're in prison.
Yeah,
The
real
most
talk. I know that. I know
enterprising,
that for a damn fact.
hardworking. Think
All in it.
about this. Think about this. Man, I gotta know how to make the drugs. I might have to know how to grow them. I gotta know how to bag them. I gotta know how to put it together. I gotta run boo boo tink tink in the crew
They
and
can
keep them together.
tell.
I
They
gotta
got
pay off the police. I gotta pay off Bernie Sanders. I gotta pay off Barack Obama. I gotta pay these people off. I gotta make sure that the sheriff is good. Then I gotta make sure the trade's working. I gotta do the numbers. I gotta make sure I launder it. I gotta have another company to launder the money. I gotta make sure the books are tight.
real
The
shit.
hardest working people
Real
are in
shit.
prison. Some of the
Yeah.
smartest people
Yeah.
are in the prison system.
And that's what they don't want people to think. So they create the narrative that these people are just dumb, low lives, you know what I mean, scumbags and the like thereof. So it's like people don't value their, I guess I don't want to say information, but people don't value their understanding. Because people in prison have a great understanding of a lot of the processes that are performed within the system of operations, whether it be financial, whether it be pharmaceutical, or just everyday social aspects of life. You know, people have a lot of knowledge and understanding because, I mean, these are people that have told the line. You know how people told the line, get
Line. Total
caught.
line. That's it.
You get caught. You know what I
Yes.
mean? You might not have been a bad dude, but you got caught
Yep.
doing something that was illegal. And all of a sudden, this picture, your credibility is gone. Oh, he's a felon. Why would you believe a felon when you can believe a career politician? Why would you believe a felon when you can believe this doctor that was graduated summa cum laude
They must be
from
blessed.
English? You know what I mean? And
They must be good people.
we took it on to that rhetoric when we should have never took that for face value. You know, believe the doctors, believe the lawyers, believe the scumbags instead of the average everyday folk who actually, tested the waters a little bit, who actually got their hands dirty and was defined in some ways or whatever the case. And we could get a lot of knowledge from them, but not only just knowledge, but understanding. You know, the understanding is missing because we've alienated those people with our minds, but not just our minds, but our activities. We're not, people are like, oh, he's a criminal. Stay away from him, honey. He's bad news. He was locked up and in jail. And it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That's completely foul. The majority of men and women that are locked up and in jail are not bad people at all. The majority. But the narrative is, oh, these dudes are bad. They're no good. They're criminals and all these different labels that get thrown around. So we devalue these people in terms of human being, but in the terms of coming together, we need those people. We need everybody from all different walks of life.
Their perspectives matter. This is what I like to say. There's 7 billion perspectives around the world, and all of them matter. Even Jay matters. Jay, your perspective matters. I disagree with everything you're typing in the room. I love that, brother, but I disagree.
Jacob, my God, Jacob.
I disagree. But listen, everybody's perspective matters. I disagree. Everything, go back, see everything Jay typed, the last 7 comments. I disagree with every last damn one. Yes, there are people who pulled themselves up from poverty. Yes, the vast majority cannot. Absolutely. Positively. Doesn't matter if Jesus came down, walked on some water, sprinkled some fairies and pixie dust. There's nothing, damn it, they can do to pull themselves up. It just doesn't happen. I know people, and somebody mentioned child protection. I know people raised in child protection, bad, beat, abused, yes, and they pulled themselves up. I agree. That's right. That one thing is right. But the reality is, the vast majority of people, if you got a boot on your neck, you got a spine down your throat, you're born the wrong color, you got a mullet, you're born in a trailer park, you're born in a ghetto, and your mama hates you, abuse you, you got too many brothers, you don't have enough food, you can't get no cornbread,
on the corner.
You got too much against you. You got some aggression. You got a little
You got no black teachers at all.
You got too much against you.
Your whole school black. You ain't got no black teachers. No, wait a minute. It's okay. You still got as much chance as everybody else, dear child. You got to
make it. I agree. But I agree. You could make it. You could make it, Jay. But his chances are this small. He doesn't even know how to talk to anybody to get a job because he had nobody. So there are people who have too many things stacked against him. That's my point. That's my.
The motherfucker been selling drugs his whole life because he's money starved. Ain't nobody around him know how to make no money because they all lack education. You know what I mean? They made the fail. That's what I mean. Damn, like go to the hood, Jacob. Go. You know what Jacob needs to do? Go to the hood for a month. He won't make it. Jacob won't make it.
Yeah. Well, but Jay's perspective mattered.
A reality that's like, damn, these people is fucked up. Even though they do, some people do contribute to their failures.
Yeah.
Well, some do contribute, but the birth, this is from birth to earth. We got to always remember this is from birth. We can't just say, oh, these people are adults now, so they have the same wherewithal that all the other adults have because they're adults now, so they have the same. That's false. We all don't have the same wherewithal because we all have not been raised the same way with the same information around the same environments, privileged to the same accesses. You know what I mean? I can speak for myself. I'm a black man that went to school in the suburbs. My homies went to school in the hood, in the Philly schools, and they don't know shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're illiterate. They still really can't read. You know what I mean? But they don't give a fuck about none of that shit because their environment has created a monster. These people.
No, not a monster. Let's don't go there yet. Let's don't go there. It created a survivor.
Yes,
created a survivor. And some of those environments are so scarce and busted and broken up that they have to do really horrible things to survive. But let me say this, because Jay said something right. I don't be hard on Brother Jay. His perspective matters. But he's saying life ain't fair. And he's right. Life isn't fair, and it's not supposed to be. And it's never going to be. And he's right about that. Hang on, let me say this. So the other extreme side is that, what do they say? Equal outcomes versus equal opportunities. Mm-hmm. I believe in equal opportunities, and life still won't be fair. Right. I think that every kid
equally.
Every kid should have a chance. There's no excuse under the sun at all for children not having a house, food, education, water, and a loving home to grow up in that they're not being abused. And if you can get kids that, I'm okay with everything else Jay says after that. I'm okay with people competing and whatever, and work hard. I agree with that. And it's still not going to be fair. Some kids' brains will think differently. Others will be better at mathematics. Others are better at English. So it'll never be fair, and we should never strive for it to be fair. What we should strive for is making sure every child has a chance. And right now, too many children don't have chances. And this is my biggest issue with capitalism right now. Because this isn't real capitalism, crony capitalism, to be fair. But my biggest issue is it lets people die. And that's not okay. It lets people grow up in poverty where they have no other choice but to live a life in prison. That's not fair. Any system that does that is a psychopathic system, and it has to be modified. All right, I'm sorry. I went off.
I agree with that. No, I agree with that. And anybody who thinks differently, might be on the side of psychopath. honestly, because it's like we all kind of have been bred to be psychopathic in a way because we've been, schooled to the logic of the men that created this country. You know what I mean? And they created this country in evil and divisive ways and deceptive ways, but also with manipulation of information, and not only just regular baseline information but psychological information as well. How we're wired, how we think, how we our lifestyle, how humans live, like our eating habits. Our eating habits they affect a lot of how we think. A lot of how we're wired has to do with how we eat and what we put into our bodies, but not just in the sense of nourishment, but also what we put into our minds. So like you're saying, each environment is different. So when you got so many different environments, you're going to have so many different levels of understanding. And we're naturally wired. You have already from the start of life differences of learning ability. We all don't learn at the same pace because we weren't all blessed with the same gifts. This is what I call it. I think every child is blessed with a gift, and honestly, we don't understand how to seek out those gifts of the youth. We just think that, okay, you're provided with the education, you're provided with these opportunities here, there, and the XYZ. So make do with what we have provided for you, not learn how to come into your own, more or less, as a youngin. When we're younger, we're not taught how to come into our own. We're not taught in a way that is, dedicated to the individual. Children are not individually taught in the way that they need to, because they're not catered to in their learning ability or learning disability. Some people can do math faster than others. Some people can read better than others, or whatever the case. Some people understand words and letters and better than others. Some people understand numbers better than others. And we've just been thrown into the pot. We'll say, yo, y'all got to all understand it at the same pace, even though y'all come from different places and y'all got different understandings and y'all been maybe subjected to different realities. You still got to learn the same pace. And it is confusing to me because it's like people are actually convinced that with the history, that's been shown, people are actually convinced that this is something that is sustainable, I guess you could say. And to me, it's not sustainable because we've ignored so much of the young generational, not the young generation, but the youth ability to understand the pressing issues of life. It's like people are sugarcoating what they teach their young. They're like, no, we can't teach my young person this and that and XYZ because it's too much for them to handle. But that's bullshit. These children are ready to handle everything. And they're ready to handle everything early. They're ready to learn early. And yes, we're cheating them because we're not teaching them early. We're telling them, oh no, slowly walk and toe the line of this education system because it works. Don't you see all these people around and it works? And don't worry that you won't get the same privileges as other people. It works. If you have to work, don't worry about that. Work around that. Don't you see other people, they've worked around that? And we're going to continue telling people to work around these obstacles that should never be present. They should
the whole system.
Yeah, the system.
Delete the whole thing. The whole thing.
Control or delete that shit. Reboot the system.
From Department of Education on down is a waste of every taxpayer dollar and penny that ever goes in. It's useless. It's wasteful. All it is, it's an indoctrination system of breaking kids to where a small percentage of kids actually become something that's beneficial. I think Sister Kimberly just said it in terms of development. The Department of Education, the education in America, it doesn't develop children. It indoctrinates and forces them down into certain categories. When we do what you said, when we go back to developing them, when we go back to teachers actually owning their classrooms, teachers actually teaching, they're professionals. They don't need to fill out forms and documents and whatever and do lesson plans. Let the teachers teach. Let the principals be principals and let their education schools go the way they want to go. Some will fail, some will do bad, right? And this is where I do agree with competition. When you have schools and teachers who are competing, who can create the best learning systems that apply to diverse kids, then it goes really well. The ones who aren't doing so good can adopt the ones that are doing better. But when you have a Department of Education, a single point of failure, so somebody mentioned Common Core, and you hand this crap down to every single, it's a complete waste. And here's my problem. It's just it's completely ignorant. Completely ignorant. The idea that we have Nikola Teslas we forced to become drug dealers. The idea that we have Einsteins because we don't develop them, we force them to run moonshine. The idea that we have I don't say Julius Caesar. I'm trying to think about somebody. The idea we got Chris Hedges, right? Some of the modern ones. The idea that we got Chris Hedges that are being abused as a child in child protection foster care, which we got in earlier today. The brothers were talking about Title 4D and Title 4E. But Brother Jay, thanks for jumping on that stream, by the way. He brought some of his law knowledge over. But the fact that we pay we pay states $250,000 a year per child they take out of a stable home that we don't like and we put in foster care. So now this is the little Chris Hedges who could be driving thought in our society, driving philosophy, building a better world. And instead they're being raped by a foster parent and they end up being some sort of a psychopath that's broken. A system like that should not exist. That is not a system. That is torture of an entire species to a point where we don't exist. This is why we got climate change and we can't have no damn nice things because we can't even talk about anything important because all the smart people are either killed, abused, or imprisoned, raped, or just thrown away.
Or part of the system, or operators of the system.
Or they become, what they call it? They got a name for it now. Non-playable characters, NPCs. They become
NPCs.
They become the NPCs. I love the NPCs. They become NPCs. They become human beings that are completely useless in society. They just toe the line. They just say everything that's handed down to them. Useless.
I like what you said about the competition thing. I don't personally believe that it's competition education, but as you were speaking of it, I believe it is maybe plausible because we need new model systems that can show a difference of what's been for the past decades or whatever the case is, as far as the education system. We need new models in place that where people can decide which one will suit their children more. They have something like that, but it's the private school. They got better systems, but you got to pay 20 G's or whatever the price tag is to get your child into that school, or your kid just got to be smart as hell and they got to want them. But we need to create in our ability systems or schools, if we have the ability. Jacob's smart, he could do financial paperwork about that, or just paperwork in general, to where we can have parents have a choice. Right now they don't have much of a choice. Either like me, homeschool my son, or send them to the schools and let them have their way with them. And I realize that is not beneficial to my son because I've been able to observe him enough to realize it's positives and negatives, but the negatives outweigh the positives. For me, that was a hard decision for me because I'm like, wait, what are the negatives and positives of the school system? And, what can I leave and take? And the one thing I just was scared about was
all negative. All of it.
Said, no,
from the first bell to the last bell. No, it's not even first bell to the last bell. It's when the bus picks your child up. It's broken right there. That's where it first started breaking. And I'm disagreeing with Brother Cody. Brother Cody says, we can make a few regulation changes. No, we can't. The whole thing has to go. Give education back to the educators. Give education back to the professional educators, and let's all pull out of it. They pull all the politicians, all the lawyers, all the accountants, everybody don't know a damn thing. Get them all out of there. Give it all back to the teachers. We can go back to small schoolhouse, but not only that, and then get them out your family. You want to homeschool your child? That's your choice. You don't want to homeschool your child? That's your choice. Who the hell
Right.
is somebody else in Washington to tell you where you got to send your child? Was Washington in bed with your wife? Was Washington
Right.
in bed with your
Right.
husband? Were they there
Right.
two under the sheets and didn't tell nobody? They wasn't there in the process of making the kid. Did they show up when the baby was being had? Did they show up? Did they milk the kid? Did they get a kid a bottle? Did they change a diaper? Did they do any damn thing? Then shut the hell up. Where's Deb? Where's Deb? Where's Sister Deb? Deb Pina Pinala? Where's she at? Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up.
No, is shut the fuck up. You got to tell
I
it straight
can't
up.
say that. I can't
You
say that.
You
Shut
can't
the
say
hell
don't do
up. But your
that.
kid, shut the hell up. Were you in the room? Shut the hell up. Did you put the
Yeah.
condom on? Shut the hell. You weren't there. Stop
Right.
telling people
Right.
what to do. The
They
whole
done
system is
invaded the
busted.
privacy of everybody.
Leave
They done
people alone.
invaded the privacy.
That's why I hate non-playable characters. They need to change that to non-playable citizens. They don't play. They're useless. They sit here and they agree, well, cannabis might be a dangerous drug. Shut the
Mhm.
hell up. I'm opening this. I'm going to start a new show at nighttime.
Mhm.
Ellen,
Mhm.
Davy cried. Miss L, she said she liked me at nighttime. I yell a little bit more at night. Shut the hell up. You know, because cannabis is a gateway. Shut the hell up. It's not your lungs, not your body, not your
Right.
edibles, not your chocolate. Get out of other people's business. Shut up. We need to go back to being, you know what? And this is why I don't fuss with the founding fathers as much. I agree with you. They was racist as the day is long.
Okay.
They were, but they
Okay.
got one point. They left the damn king. They murdered a whole bunch of people here. They came over here as a
Right. Right.
caravan. Did you see that meme
Right.
today? Somebody did a comic meme where they had the caravans going through Indian territory, and they're like, "Look, it's a caravan. Look, what the indigenous? Why are they coming here? You know." So it was something like that. It was hilarious. But they
I
left
did.
the damn king. They got over here and they said, "You know what? We're gonna start a country, and we're gonna call it Leave Everybody the Hell Alone." And that
Right.
made sense. That didn't get that part didn't make it in the history books, but that's what they called America before they came up with America. It was called "We gonna start a country and leave everybody the hell alone." If you
Leave
don't want to
everybody
send your kids to school, that's your
over
anything you
there.
want to do on your property, that's your business. You don't want to get a job, you want to make money, you want to live on some land, grow some food, that's your damn business. That's what America was called before they came up with the
Yeah.
United States of America. They just didn't put that in the
Right.
history book. They
Right.
were right about that. If you are in your neighbor's drawers, you're wrong. If you are in your
Right.
neighbor's bed, that's
That
for the
on purpose for me.
non-play.
They put that one there just for me. 'Cause I'm like, wait a
Just for
minute.
the
This thing
election.
got shit to do with Halloween,
I don't even
but they
want to.
got everything to do with that
That's
one.
it. That's it. I don't even have to put words. Just post it. Just post the
Just post
backboard. Just
that to go.
everybody
You know
just
what I'm
sniffing each other butts. If you in somebody else's anus, you're wrong. Get out your neighbor anus. It's not yours. You need to wipe yours and keep yours clean. All right. Leave your neighbors
saying?
alone. They want to have
Right.
some guns. It's not your damn business. Don't be a
Right.
non-playable canine up somebody else's anus.
Mhm.
Mind your own damn business. If now
Exactly.
they use the gun to kill somebody, they use the knife to kill somebody, then it's something different. But as long
Mhm.
as people are peaceful in their house, smoking their
Right.
drugs, drinking their tweeds, making their wine and cognac and whatever else they're doing, whatever nasty stuff they're doing with their wife or their husband or whoever else, as long as they're consenting adults, it's not your damn business. We need
Right.
to go back to that.
Yeah, we definitely need to go back to that. A whole bunch of that. Every day, all day, because that's what it is. People they didn't crossed over into people's lives that they ain't got no business crossing over. Like, yo, what
No
the hell you
business.
worried about XYZ? Worry about your own shit. Your shit stink. Your
That's
shit
it.
filthy.
You funky. You
Yeah,
ever smell it? It's
you
nasty.
you
It don't
living
smell like
foul
grape
over there.
juice.
I can smell you from over here. You living foul. You worried? I'm sitting there. This so deep. I'm telling you, I deal with this shit on the daily.
do you
Motherfuckers
do
always talking about something like Tom, Dick, and Harry doing. It's like, yo, I don't give a damn. say this to them, but I would try to say it in a different way. But it's like people are so concerned with when they shit ain't even right. You know what I mean? They shit ain't even clean your own. You feel me? Clean your house and keep it.
And they start
Don't worry
lying.
about anything else house.
But it's people on Facebook too, because you know they'd be like, "Listen, you know what I heard 5 years ago, Kavanaugh did something when he was drunk and party being a stupid kid. You know what I done heard something? I done heard that in the caravan. Now I ain't never been to Honduras, but the caravan it got ISIS. It got ISIS.
The day in life.
It got ISIS.
I let some shit come to me. I'm guilty automatically. I'm a black motherfucker. If they gonna rant on Kavanaugh like that, a motherfucker like me that they think is black, they gonna say, "Oh, Chris definitely."
Oh my gosh.
He guilty. That black motherfucker. I thought Chris was better
Just
than
be
that.
lying. Just making stuff up.
People would change up on you. So
Yeah.
I thought Chris was different than that. Oh my goodness, how could Chris do that? And it's like, damn, they don't even understand. They might not even get the facts or whatever. Who knows what happened could come out. But it's just like, damn. It's like, no, that ain't me. But you're supposed to know better than to just believe anything or
rumors. Starting all, that's a song, isn't it? Starting all these rumors. That's going. How that song go? I forgot that song.
But it's fucked up.
But it's real. And you have adults that still they buy into this stuff and they believe it. If you ain't been there, shut up. And you know, but the crazy thing is though, because these are the same friends that taught me that the CIA actually was who's behind ISIS. They're the ones who were behind Al Qaeda. They're the ones who were behind it all. And I didn't believe them at first. And I started looking at the data and everything. It's like, oh, wow, you're right. America's the #1 sponsor of terror. You're right. It makes sense. Washington is. And all the Benghazi and all that stuff started coming out. Eric Holder funneling weapons. And I believe all my friends on the right. I believe it's like, y'all right. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. Now we made ISIS. We made the terrorists. And now all of a sudden, ISIS ain't a part of the CIA because they see him in a caravan. How does that work? How the hell does that work? How the hell do you sleep at night? Do you actually think it and make up this stuff and believe the stuff that your lords and kings are telling you? They're lying to you. These are just rumors. They ain't never been there.
Like years ago, brother.
Right. It's like you don't get to pick and choose who the CIA made now that you want to change it. It's like it's bad as the left. The right bad as the left. The left's in here lying. Oh, they all cozy with the CIA and the FBI to go after Trump, and they forgot the CIA and the FBI are the ones who murdered Martin Luther King. You know, it's like, oh, we good best buddies, and I'm just like, man, y'all just there's something really wrong with adults, man. They're not non-playable canines sniffing each other's butts, man.
I know what it is.
Get a handy wipe.
It's information overload. That's all it is. Information overload. A whole bunch of information that is meaningless. I'm telling you right now, it's just meaningless. You know, we know we're adults now. We know how to treat other people better. That's what's meaningful. Treat other people better. It's simple and plain. Treat other people better. Every day, every moment, every second, whatever you're going through. We all go through shit. Yes, true. But still, don't let what you going through wipe off on another motherfucker because still strive to treat other people better. Now, if you're in a funk, understand that. We all go through funky state phases. Fall back. Fall back because when you're in a funk, you're not your best character or whatever the case is. You're susceptible to get angry or snap out or reactionary to somebody. Step back a little. Bring yourself back to the calm. Meditate, whatever you got to do, meditate. You need to get back in. People probably don't meditate as much. I know I never meditated. When I started to meditate, I was like, yo, this shit works. Because I ain't ready to snap out. If I ain't got my medicine, I ain't gonna snap out on somebody. You know what I mean? I'm chill now. I'm a little chill because I meditate, get calm, understand what it is that makes me tick. Because that's what we have to do. We have to understand what makes us tick. And we have to understand how to, reevaluate how we approach the things that make us tick, whether it be people, because people is crazy out here. They're like, oh, I hate this person, that person, I can't stand, and they can't stand people in general, but that's how we were bred. We were bred not to be able to want to be around people, and sometimes, whatever, introverted, who knows? But treat other people better. Like you said earlier, brother, whatever you've been going through in this lifestyle in America, whatever case, is somebody somewhere going through worse shit than you going through. Right. So first, bring that realization to your mind. Somebody going through something much worse than what you're going through. So when you realize that, you start to lift yourself up a little bit. But then if you going around and letting this bad energy that you and get to other people, you're missing out on the beauty of life, which is the continuousness of, I don't want to say time, but the continuousness of all things. Everything is steady. We're always moving. Everything is always moving. So we have to be always active in the right way. You know, it's hard to do that because we have so many vices, so many distractions, whatever the case is, but we have to strive to be active in the right way as individuals, because that will allow us to come into a collective mentality of working together. You know, we don't want to work together now because we hate each other. As in, we're like, yo, I'm frustrated with these people. They don't get this or that or X, Y, Z, and I hate these people because they just talk all this nonsense. And that's why it's like me. I'm like, no, I love all this shit. We was made for this shit. You know what I mean? We was made to live in these times. We were the universe, whatever the hell people like to call it, and you know, we were created to live in these times. So that way we could work together in these times to help the future generations be successful.
That's
You
it.
know, do that here, you got to work together. No, hate those people. Hate. No, we were made to make the future generations
That's it.
better every day.
It's
Every day
all
we're supposed
about
to
right.
evolve ourselves, to evolve the universe around us.
Right. It's all about
That's my
making it
new.
better. And of course, Jay trying to start up with me again. I see you over there. He said except the
I
rich. He said treat
love
everybody better except the rich. And you know, but
it.
I'm agree with this one. No, I'm agree with this. I'm agree partially with this one. I'm agree partially. All right. So if you got 100 million in the bank and less, yes, we're gonna treat you better. Yes, we're gonna treat you a little bit better. If you
All right.
got more than 100 million in the bank, you don't need any. You already treated pretty damn good. But I agree with Jay on this. But don't eat the rich. Don't take from them. We don't. You don't need to take anything from them. They can have every. And don't hate them because they
We don't
actually were born in a better spot and they played this psychopathic murder the poor game better than us. I don't hate them for that, and you shouldn't hate them for that either. You know
yeah.
what we have to do though is we have to change the model. We tell them that hey, that's it, y'all. You didn't. The
Yeah.
game is
Y'all
over.
had
Y'all
y'all run.
won.
Y'all run
Y'all
is
won.
over.
Right,
Y'all
you
run is over.
won. You can keep your mansions, you can keep your houses and your cars and your yacht. Keep all of it. I'm not saying treat them bad. I'm just
Mhm.
saying these psychopathic people need to be put into a box in their mansion or just somewhere in a society model where they can't kill people anymore. That's all I'm saying. So treat them good. You know, see them on the road. Now don't kiss their shoes and massa this and massa that. Don't do none of that damn stuff.
Don't go like
But
this.
I'm
Ah, look at
right,
that.
exactly. Right,
Ah,
right.
look at
The,
that. I
the
want to.
only the only thing we're gonna take from the wealthy is a system that doesn't work for everybody. And it's all about just making sure the next generation has a better chance. That's what it all comes down to. It's not about hating the rich. It's about loving the kids more. It's about loving the kids in the worst environments more than wanting to be the rich. That's what it's all about.
That's a good point. Loving the kids in the hurting environments more than wanting to be the rich. That's what it is.
That's it.
We strive. We want to strive to be successful in this, that, and that for our own individual selfish causes, instead of actually striving to make sure that the future generations have a path that is clear and free from, you know, those elements of control, or those elements of the divisiveness, or whatever the case is, you know. And
Yeah.
it's not like you said. It's front. Don't hate the rich. No,
Don't hate them.
understand.
And
It's game. It's all
I,
game. It's
I
like the
like
pimp game. You
I
can't
like
hate
what
the pimp because he out there on the stroll and he
and
got
hate the
20
pimp.
hoes and you ain't got nothing but one there, not a hoe.
Don't
You
hate the
can't,
players.
don't hate on them. Do
Just
you
fi-
understand the game? You
just
know,
fix the game. That's it.
if you
Fix the game. Yeah. If you hate anybody,
change the game. Don't be a pimp.
yeah.
Don't be a pimp.
Right.
Change the game.
If you hate anybody, you don't really understand how all this works. You know, we all land in certain places when we're born, and we play the game from where
Mhm.
we land. I like what Jan said. Jan just said most people don't even think about nature. You know, and going for a nature walk for peace of mind. So easy to get caught up in the day to day BS, and that's the biggest problem. People,
Yep.
it's not the BS, so I'm not easily triggered by this nonsense.
Yes, indeed.
And
Yes,
once you
indeed.
find your center and your place, and you're not being jerked around by the jerks on the tops of all of these parties, then you can actually be productive. You're not
I,
outraged by much. Like I watch the news now, Chris. I laugh at stuff now. I don't get mad at like Eric Holder. What did this idiot say? This
it's
what did
hilarious. Bro.
this dummy? What he
I
said?
don't know what happened. That bomb threats. I seen that.
He said
Today. I said,
bombs.
what?
What
I was. I'm telling you. I said, who? What? Hillary Clinton, Obama, and the Democrats.
I said that is a sign of the times. It's a sign that you stupid and you make dumb laws.
I love this stuff. This world is
It's
world.
hilarious.
Yeah.
And but people take it serious. They got it. They're posting it, Chris. They're like, oh, Eric Hoses is doing, she's saying good stuff. Eric Hoses is still here. You know, they're waiting for Obama flicks to come out. I think it's funny, actually. It's scary because these people aren't real people. They're avatars. I don't know why they want to be other people and they could just be themselves. But, you know, like I said, I think it's what you said and it's what Jan said, is you got to find yourself again. And you don't get led astray by all this hate.
Yeah,
all the sides. I was watching one of your streams from a few weeks ago before you disappeared on us.
Oh, my fault, you know.
And you
I had to find myself. Nah.
Yeah, you were just saying
a deeper part of myself. You know what I mean?
Which is good. I mean, you had to do what you had to do. I'm gonna give you a hard time for it, though.
Or just no, I really had to just distance myself from the craziness of what Facebook be presenting all the time. It's like, damn, I love everybody, but damn, I can't keep seeing this. What is going on? You know, you feel sad sometimes. It's like I wanted to cry. I'm like, what is my people's is just all here, there, and everywhere. I love everybody, but it's like, what is going? I didn't see it all for the last 2 years. I'm like, no, I had to take a real break. You know, but I'm back. But that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, I think my new thing is one and all, so that way I can get more connected with nature. You know, because that's what it's about. Like they're saying, I don't see the comments, but we must connect with nature because guess what? That's where the peace is. You know, I find peace anytime I'm around something to do with nature. I find peace, whether it's the waters, whether it's the woods, whether it's just fucking around in the dirt, trying to experiment. I find peace when I'm on. When you're scrolling down the Facebook shit. It's madness and chaos. It's like, damn, this is like, damn, this is going on in here. And you going through that, and it's like, people. This is what's funny. Like, people who still think voting is the way are full of the trials and tribulations of what voting has gotten them. And it's like, oh, I can't believe that my city is doing this, and the politicians here are doing it. And it's like, you know this already, yo. You know this. You know they're going to do that. They're going to continue. It's up to us to work together. And it's us to individually think peacefully. We have to first think peacefully, because if we think with hostility, we will look at things with hostility. You know, we will look at. I realized that when I reevaluated how I get angered, it's because I looked at things with hostility. Like certain people, certain people can tick me off, you know. And I'm gonna just be real. One of them is my son's mother, because she knows how to get to me. You know what I mean? Because she knows me like that, so she knows how to get to me. And it's like, damn.
That's love.
I mean, you call it love and everything. You know, we're not together, but it's love. It's always love. It's always love.
She left a little prick in that heart. Women know. Women know, brother. Women know. Women know.
Funny. This what it is. It's like,
I'm not saying that you love her. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying women know. Because they know us a hell of a lot better than we know ourselves. That's all I'm saying. Women know. They know what to say.
Maybe you might be right. You might be right. And that's true. They know what to say. So it's like, I realized that it was me. I was looking at the situation with more hostility. You know what I mean? Because it's like the stuff we went through was like, you know, that was created an environment of chaos in my mind. So then when I removed that environment of chaos, it's like, yo, I get it. You know what I mean? I see with clarity now. I understand that I need to approach this with peace. I can't come in with a mind that say I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know if I can, you know, it's going to be a good day or a bad day or whatever the case is. No, I go into everything thinking it's going to be a good day, and then when stuff happens, it's still a good day. You know what I mean? It's what's wrong? It's a great day. Life beautiful. That's my thing now. Anybody go hostile? Life beautiful, ain't it? You could be over here where it's bad and shit like that. Like, it's real, but that's real. It makes sense because we are blessed. You know, we're blessed beyond our belief right now as people who reside in this part of the world. we are blessed. Now we are supposed to take these blessings and make sure we allow that to flow over to those who are not as
That's it.
blessed as we are. And that's
That's
what I'm
it.
realizing we must do as individuals, because we can act as individuals. You know what I mean? Because when you change the heart and mind, people change the activity. You dig what I'm saying? And that's what I'm starting to realize. Approach things with the peaceful calm that nature exudes on a daily basis, brother.
Yeah,
That's what
you gotta have your calm. You gotta have your calm. I object because you took 7 days and the conspiracy theories already
oh
started.
man.
And
I was going to the
I
next time.
listen. I started a few of mine on my own. It's like, what happened to Chris? After about 2 or 3 days, people are like, I ain't seen nothing from Chris. People are like, yeah, no, he did, he did. No, Chris ain't dead. After about 5 days, I think they didn't pick Chris up. I mean, somebody got him, the CIA, the FBI, and somebody. And then after about the fifth, 7 days, like, you know what, they got it. And then all of a sudden you pop back today.
The
It's like,
algorithm was missing me.
it's like, is that Chris? Is that a clone? I was like looking at your nose and your eyes. That look like that might be some AI. Listen, I believe some crazy stuff, man. I think our government got some crazy cloning technology and stuff. And I was looking, I was like, you know what? He kind of talk like Chris. He kind of say some things that Chris do.
That's the thing. Like, I don't know. Can they replicate? I don't know if they can replicate me all the way.
He can hock a loogie like Chris, but they probably good with this clone
They
stuff. It may
do
not be
this stuff.
Chris. It might be trying to play us or something. So we behind your back. Behind your back, we're gonna give you about a week, and then we all gonna vote whether or not it's really you, or if it's, they done took you, put you in a lab, and put you in a petri dish. And they torturing Chris somewhere right now. They sticking probes in his butt and whatever, and all kind of stuff with the aliens.
I'm gonna give some more controversy so that way, Jacob could make sure that I'm even more crazier. You know what I mean? Everybody else could be flustered with the offensiveness and all that stuff like that, because it's like, we got to shake up the thought processes. You know what I mean? We got to shake up the thought. We got to change the narratives, but we have to do it from a place of peace and, I guess I would say love, if that's what it is, like love, because that's what it really is. We don't know what the love is that we're trying to get, but we feel it. It's within us. You know what I mean? They can't take it. They can't take that love from out of us. They can just make us embrace something different, which is like the hate and the fear and all that other stuff. But that love is always within us. It resides within us from birth. You know what I mean? We were birthed into that love, I guess you could say.
But that's a boxing play. It's called what? Rope-a-dope, right?
Rope-a-dope. Yeah, it's a rope-a-dope.
They got people up on the rope and they just hitting you left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, and you can't. And this is why you got to walk away. You got to. I think somebody was talking about just water. I think Elizabeth or Jan was talking about just watering plants. Like for me, my thing is plants. It's bonsai and plants. Like I fall into.
I need some seeds.
Oh, I got you. I got you. I got you right down the street. I got you. I fall into that, man. I can sit in my garden. I can sit around my plants all day, just water them. And half of my Saturdays and Sundays, but that's where I get my peace from. Everybody's got to find their center point in peace and get out of the rope-a-dope. When you start to feel that you're getting pulled back in, you got to step away because they keep you going left, right, Kavanaugh, this, that, Caravan, ISIS, ISIL, Obama, hate, it's just like Tiki Torch Nazi, and then you just blow up. So you have to step back from the fight, sit in your chair, get your glass of water, think about it, study the foe, and then get back out there fresh. So for everybody, it has to be sustainable. Like I was talking to Debbie for a little while yesterday, and she's happy. I told everybody she's happy. She's happy. Same progressive. She's off. She is offline. She's enjoying her time with David. They're doing things and going on trips, and she's enjoying life. I said, Debbie, everybody keeps asking about you. Everyone keeps, where's same progressive? Where's Debbie? When's Debbie coming back? She's like, tell them. What did she? I got say it the right way. She said it. She said something. All right, I'm gonna mess it up. Something to the degree of, good luck with your videos.
All right.
Because she is watching. She has little things. She jumps in and chimes in, and she watches. I don't think she says anything. She watches her, but her point was she had to leave. Like it was on her. right?
Yeah. Yeah.
She would start a video, and when she clicked that button, she'd have like 200 people watching her. When she was all done, she'd click the button. At times, she had thousands of people watching her,
Right.
right? You know how much pressure that
A lot
is.
of pressure. A lot
You
of
know
pressure.
how much energy that drains people. And it was way too much, and she had to step away. So people, you got to make whatever you're doing sustainable. But she was asking other people fun with them, but at the end of the day, when I need to pull, like I need to pull Jay into a conversation earlier, I'll pull him in, and I'll get his back.
Right. Right.
Sister Clemencia just got here. She here too. She get off her and Jay. They'll go back and forth, and it's the same thing. When you get to a point where you oh, they had some heat.
It's beautiful. I love it.
But you get to a point where you disagree with people,
Yeah.
but you still agree with the fact that they want to change things.
Right.
You
Right.
disagree
Right.
with people, but you still get your families back. You still
Yeah.
get their back. And it's like, we don't have to agree. But if you say something that's true, I'll always have your back in that. We can disagree on everything else. But you say something that's true, I'm not going to let somebody who's lying come in and dominate a conversation on your thread. I'll jump in where I need to, because that's what this is about. We don't have to agree on flat earth and donut earth and some aliens and Bigfoot, Democrats and Republicans. People in these lies and the games that they play, that's a whole nother thing. But Debbie, she got too big. They started coming after her with racism and hate and
All
white
types of shit.
supremacy and Nazi. She was getting all kind of hate comments and people, telling her to burn in hell and all of that stuff. And after a certain point in time, you can't.
Nasty out there.
And the thing was, and to be honest with you, and I saw a lot of people got her back. I got her back, and we did what we could, but the reality is it was just too much. It was too much. It was too much negativity, and you can't expect, anybody to deal with that level of hate. That's why I'm saying everybody, you got to get each other's back. One of the things I appreciate about most of the people here is they'll disagree with you, but they'll come back tomorrow. They disagree with you, but they'll come back tomorrow.
Man, it's about like I disagree with everybody all the time. So it's like I'm already used to that. I love it though, because it's like I can learn stuff from that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say that I know everything, but I can still learn. But we can still, move forward knowing that we're looking out for each other's better interests in the long term. That's what it's about. The long term, we're looking out for each other's better interests as people. You know what I mean? We might not meet here on the informational aspect of it, but we can meet here on the understanding aspect of it, which means whatever you going through, if you being wrong, I'm there for you. You know what I mean? And so on and so forth. You feel me? And we have to be committed to that. We can't be like, oh, your political identity is different than my political identity, so it's over. We can't, I don't give a fuck about you and your family. They can rot in hell for all I care, because that's what it is. And it's like, that's not what this is about. You know what I mean? We're family. We're family. You know what I mean? When the wife disagrees with the husband, hey, they family at the end of the day still. You know what I mean? When brothers disagree, they family at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
My philosophy on that, I was married once in another life.
Okay.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. You know, but the way it worked with me back then was that, you know, we were a team.
Okay.
And we could be in just the worst disagreement for that day.
Mm-hmm.
But if we ended up going to dinner with someone else, I always had her back.
Right.
No matter what was said, I always had her back. Right. We were a team. You know, and even if I disagreed with her, I still would agree with the things she said that were truthful. You know, and that's how this works. I think that you have people who want the world to change, and you have people who don't.
Mm-hmm.
I will always agree with the people who want to change the world. I don't have to agree with how. It could be MMT, universal basic income. It could be real capitalism. It could be real communism, real socialism. It could. I disagree with all of them.
Right.
But I disagree more with keeping the crony, jacked up world we have now that lets people die of starvation.
Right. I got what you're saying. I understand what you're saying completely. And that's major, though. That is major. You know what I mean? Because everybody may think they know the proper way of getting there, but that is just not true. You know what I mean? Because it takes a diversity of thought and a diversity of understanding to know what the diversity of people need. And for me, as a black man, I can't speak to what a poor white man may need, you know, or a poor woman, or a woman.
Actually, you can.
Need of what a black woman might need or want. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna say actually you can. There's more synergies in impoverished communities across all races, all trailer parks, all ghettos, all barrios. 99% of everything you're concerned with, I guarantee you they are. But I get what you're saying. Everybody has their own perspective. Everybody has their own experience. And I don't know if Brother Jay is still here, but if he's still here, you know, Jay is right. Jay is 100% right with his experiences. Brother Mike is 100% right with his experience. You are 100% locked in with your experiences. And that's what everybody coming together and discussing. Right. And you tweak. It's like tuning that VHF television. You tweak till you get a better signal, right? Because we only have our own little perspective, and that's when people come together and can have these discussions and leave a lot of the emotion out and disagree, but agree on the fact that we need to tweak all of our frequencies so we get a better signal. And that's how I think you build something better. You know, besides, and the other point, the left and the right messed up. Let me tell you how they messed up. You know how they messed up, man?
How they messed up?
I gotta say this quiet so nobody hears.
How they mess up?
Listen, the anti-war and the truth movement, women are just too fine. I'm sorry, this is too many fine women. I'm a single guy, and I just sit back, and I can't have nothing to do with them. I gotta whisper so they can't hear me. I can't have nothing to do with them. I'm a single guy. I'm off doing my thing. They're just too daggone fine. The left and the right will never get me back. I can sit here and we can have all these pretty women around. We can talk about stuff, you know, please. I'm not going nowhere. The left and the right, they're done. They're done. Anti-war won. I ain't going nowhere. That's why I said somebody posted women always right. Yeah, women always right. I ain't always right. They always right. They always got power over you. That's why I got to stay at a distance. They always got power. We're gonna be as close as this screen right here. That's it. That is good. This screen is good. They change your day. They change your life. They change your religion. And it's for the better. They just trying to make you a better person. Don't get me wrong, but no, that's too much power.
What they say about every strong man is a strong woman right behind him.
like Darth Vader with the Force and midichlorians. It's just like, you belong to me. You will come here, or you get none. You know, and it's like men, they just cave in, like, okay, honey. You know, they get
You
they
gotta
get these
love it. You
minivans.
gotta love it. It's just life, man. What more can you expect out of? It's like this is fucking life. This is
It's life.
amazing.
It's,
This is
it's,
life.
it's beautiful though, man. It's beautiful.
Amazing.
We talk about things that 10 years ago nobody could talk about. We talk about things that 10 years ago nobody cared about. Nobody believed it. The
Mm-hmm.
Democrats were saving the world. The Republicans were saving the world. They were feeding the planet. We are the world.
America
We are,
got our back. We was
and
getting tax breaks. Oh, I got more of my taxes, my income tax. Oh, did you see that Bush gave us an extra thought? Hey, Obama said we could sign up for Medicare for all corporate medical corporate. Oh my, it's looking good, y'all. We can a little bit of
oh, they loves us. The kings loves us.
God. It's crazy,
The
man.
kings
It's
and
crazy.
queens. And
But
now,
that's good though. I think it's good that we can talk about a lot of these things because it's going to give the youth the ability to be outspoken. I believe. I believe the youth will be able to be outspoken in ways that we weren't really able to.
yeah,
And hopefully, the thing is, hopefully, they utilize these platforms in the way to be outspoken as opposed to a way to just be distracted by all the things that are coming at them fast paced, because it's a lot of shit that are coming out fast paced now. I don't know if you know anything about this shit, but the youngins nowadays, bro, the music we listened to was a little bit different, but nowadays these little kids is listening to Takashi 69. You know what I mean? It's some weird little kid that's like, I don't
who
know.
is that?
It's some boy that I don't even know how to explain it. But all I'm telling you is this is what the youth loves today. And if this is what they look up to, it's scary times ahead.
Takashi
Takashi. I don't
69.
know. Some people out there might know him. They might have seen him. I don't watch music videos. No, I just know my friends love this.
I don't follow none of that.
I'm like, I listen to music, like rap and all this. So I was like, a little bit, but I hate this guy because all the kids love him. And that's like, yo, this guy's everything that the elite love because
Okay.
he gives the distractions and he talks about the stuff that keeps the mind of the young trapped in that narrative that they have to be cool, gangster, and thuggish and all this different type of stuff. And then, on the opposite end of that, our brothers and sisters of the lighter complexion are embracing it as well, because it's the culture, so the music culture has allowed these kids to fall into something that is very, very scary, but we have a lot of work to do still, you know what I mean? But
Well, they want them to be crazy. They want
yeah,
the
that's
kid. They want the kids to act crazy.
not at all.
And they want the adults to act crazy, and they got
Oh,
them acting crazy. That's yeah, they got them act. That's why I laugh at them all day long. They got them acting crazy. I don't laugh at the adults. I just laugh at the things they post.
Yeah,
I
that's
laugh.
that.
I laugh. I laugh at the things they believe. Like
I
really,
ain't gonna lie. I laugh at the adults when I'm out and about.
like really, y'all believe in mermaids? Really? Stop unicorns? Do you believe in the Democrats? Yeah, oh yeah, okay. No, but you know what? But the cool thing is good because I think that you got a solid community coming together when you got everybody represented. And if you
Yeah.
really think about it, in this little family we got coming together, you got
Mm-hmm.
the alien folks, which is
Mm-hmm.
that's me right there. I'm with the alien folks.
You in there?
You
You
got
in there?
you
Yep, yep.
got the Christian folks, you got the Muslim folks, we
Yeah.
have some Jewish folks, you got folks from Gaza, you have the flat earther here tucked in here or there, you got the
Mm-hmm.
spiritual people, you
Mm-hmm.
got the gardeners, you have people from all walks. And we talk all you got the health nuts, you got the hippies,
Mm-hmm.
you got the hipsters. We have everybody here. You got some nationalists tucked in here. You got some
Yeah, you
conservatives
definitely do.
tucked in here. We got liberals and progressives tucked in. You got everybody represented, and we don't all disagree, but we agree on today doesn't work. That's how I know that this isn't some selective bull.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in my life has always been about some selective bull. But the interesting thing is, people are actually talking.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
having dialogue and they're talking. And I see ideas and opinions are changing and people saying, you know what? I kind of I
pick from the cars that are going to drive in this lane. You know, we were took into a lot, and they said, look, there's all these different cars. You choose one because this is the road you're going to travel. Y'all all going to travel on that same road. Just continuing the betterment of future generations. So that way, the generation that we have being birthed upon us now is not suffering from our lack of action and lack of activity and lack of unity, I guess you could say this. Because right now, you know, we have a little bit of the like, no, we have information that goes back historically different civilizations to where we need to understand that information, you know, but it really comes down to just treating people better and looking out for each other, as you said earlier.
Absolutely. So
Every day.
every day. And so that's we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up.
Let's do that.
Yeah. So that's uh-huh.
No, I'm saying, what is your thoughts?
Well, it just comes down to keep talking. Keep talking. You know, keep talking. It's just keep talking to people. When you get to really understand that everybody puts their pants on one leg at a time, everybody for the most part has the same fears. Everybody for the most part wants to get to the same place. And if we can just keep talking, people will build up enough rapport for each other that they'll be willing to treat them like they're human beings. They'll be willing to listen to people who are coming from Honduras, who live in Latin America, who lived in Brazil, and we can actually get somewhere. Looks like people are saying they can't hear anything anymore. The sound is gone, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up.
All right, man. It's all good, brother.
All right, brother. It's late. You have a great night now.
All right, you too, man. Enjoy everything, man.
All right.